Sylvester Stewart just passed this week, of Sly and the Family Stone, one of the great musicians of the 20th century, like a musical genius, up there with, like, he died in the same week that Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys passed as well. That one of Brian Wilson's great songs was Good Vibrations. And Sly also had Good Vibration in one of his songs. I thought that was interesting. I used to think about Sly singing Good Vibration and thinking, I wonder if he took that from Brian Wilson. And then they passed like 2 days apart or something like that, maybe 1 day apart. But anyway, this song is based on Sly and the Family Stone song, Everybody's a Star. It's one of my favorite songs by them. Lesson 299. Eternal holiness abides in me. Try it again. Eternal holiness abides in me. Father, my holiness is not of me. It is not mine to be destroyed by sin. It is not mine to suffer from attack. Illusions can obscure it, but cannot put out its radiance, nor dim its light. It stands forever perfect and untouched. In it all things are healed, for they remain as you created them. And I can know my holiness, for holiness itself created me. I can know my source, because it is your will that you be known. Ba 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 da ba 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 ba. Ba 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 da ba 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 ba. Eternal holiness abides in me. Eternal holiness abides in me. Father, my holiness is not of me. All right, I tried. Eternal holiness abides in me. This is lesson 299. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet today. Paragraph 1. My holiness is far beyond my own ability to understand or know. Yet God, my Father, who created it, acknowledges my holiness as His. Our will together understands it, and our will together knows it is so. Paragraph 2. Father, my holiness is not of me. It is not mine to be destroyed by sin. It is not mine to suffer from attack. Illusions can obscure it, but cannot put out its radiance, nor dim its light. It stands forever perfect and untouched. In it are all things healed, for they remain as you created them. And I can know my holiness, for holiness itself created me, and I can know my source, because it is your will that you be known. All right, and just in case you didn't get all that the first time, second time around, here we go again. Eternal holiness abides in me. What can we say about that? The word abide is a nice one. The dude abides, right? Eternal holiness abides in me. So paragraph 1, my holiness is far beyond my own ability to understand or know. Yet God, my Father, right? So as an ego person, as an ego, from the ego's separated, in the ego separated state, from this side of the veil, you might say, on the side of the veil where the sun is still in the illusion of separation, we cannot really understand what Jesus is talking about. Yet God, my Father, who created it, acknowledges my holiness as His. So even though I cannot fully comprehend it or understand it from where I am right now, I know, because Jesus has told us this, that God's holiness and my holiness are one. I am still as God created me. God is whole. God is holy. God is holy love. And as a being of holy love, or as a state of holy love, or a reality of holy love, I am that as well. Our will together understands it, and our will together knows that it is so. So when we are back in the oneness with God, we fully comprehend it, right? We know what it is. Where we are now, we do not, we have to go on trust, right? From where we are at the moment. So paragraph 2, this is a prayer to God the Father. And remember, in paragraph 1, Jesus says, God, my Father, right? He's emphasizing the fatherhood of God right now. So, Father, my holiness is not of me. It is not mine to be destroyed by sin. It is not mine to suffer from attack. Illusions can obscure it, but cannot put out its radiance nor dim its light. It stands forever perfect and untouched. This is my holiness now. In it are all things healed, for they remain as you created them. And I can know my holiness, for holiness itself created me. Now, this is another way of, just Jesus just putting it a different way. Remember, he said, I am still as God created me. He also said, love created me like itself. Now he says, holiness itself created me, and I can know my source because it is your will that you be known. Right? So holiness, what is holiness itself? Holiness itself is God. Holiness itself is my Father. And I can know my source, which is God, my Father, which is holiness, because it is your will, Father, that you be known. So I can know what my holiness is, because it is the only reality. And when I return to that, I will know what it is. Right now, I'm a little bit in the dark, but I trust. I have faith that as I let go of my grievances, as I let go of my judgments, as I let go of everything that is in the way, all the interference, I make way for the miracle. I make way for the experience of what it is to be back home again, or to be back home in the arms of love once again. Or you could say my Father's loving arms, however you want to put it. But don't get too caught up in the symbols, right? The symbols, I think that's what Jesus is getting at here. He's using a lot of different words to talk about the same thing, right? As a way to say that it's not the words, right? That you could say holiness, you could say source, you could say God, you could say Father, you could say love, you could say eternal love, you could say perfect love, you could say perfect holiness. You could say any of these things, but the words are not what the thing is. The thing is beyond words. It's an experience. It's a reality that goes beyond the mind, goes beyond concepts, goes beyond words. It goes beyond me. It goes beyond this little self that I have taken myself to be. Right? It is the one self of all. And as such, this is where it gets challenging, very challenging, I think, for us, because we cannot comprehend what it is. And it really means the end of our little self, right? What we have mistakenly taken ourselves to be is what needs to go, right? All the false ideas that we have about ourselves need to go, right? And to remember our true reality. And the scary thing about it, I think, where the ego gets very, very uptight, is what's going to happen to little me if I do surrender, so to speak, let the ego be dissolved, what's going to happen to little me, right? I think this is, I'm so familiar with this individual, this personality I take myself to be. What's going to become of me? Jesus says, well, you will be everything instead of right now you're nothing. you will realize that you are everything. Don't you want to be everything? But in many ways we do not. We have deep resistance to that. We have deep fear of that. And so hence why the course is so long and involved, right? But I think, what I keep emphasizing is just the little steps that lead to greater and greater freedom and joy in your life, right? The little steps you take. You might not go all the way with the course, but while you do the course, you're losing your guilt, you're losing your fear, you're losing all the things that you are really in the way, right? Are in the way of you being the best version of yourself. And that's not a small gift. So even if you don't go all the way with the course, at least you're slowly but surely you're losing the things that you wanted to lose anyway, right? Or you thought you did, but it's not easy to lose your fear either. It's not easy to lose your depression. It's not easy to lose your negativity. That's what's flying out the window. Let's just do a very short version of this. Eternal holiness abides in me. 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 Gotta listen to the song on Spotify. Maybe I'll send you the link. Everybody's a Star. Everybody's a Star by Sly and the Family Stone. It's a great song. So I'll see if I can remember to put in the description. And anyway, shine on. Thank you, Sly, and thank you, everybody. We are all, I wouldn't necessarily say everybody is a star. Of course, to say, everyone is the one sun. But everybody's a star is good too. So keep on shining.